Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Troy with DDM's Realm, and we're going to go through another weekly walkthrough here for you. If you haven't already, throw me a subscribe, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and become a patron. I really appreciate that support. That patron support can be as little as $1 a month, and it really helps support all the effort and energy that goes into throwing these out for you guys. If you want to throw me up a chat, I will try to keep an eye on it in YouTube here, or you can shoot me a message in game. That is KARRANOR. I think it'll go through. I'm actually on the preview server right now, but I'm seeing a bunch of the other chat channels, so I think the chat server you can still see it, but I'm not sure. So I might not see those today. If you try that, let me know, and I will let you know if that actually works or not, because I am not sure. All right, so what are we looking at today? So there is no events going on at the moment. However, they are starting the events for this coming week early due to Valentine's Day, I believe. If you're not currently doing anything, you should be sure to make sure your Jungles of Cholt campaign is being worked on or taken care of or ready for the next one, basically. The tree you're going to want to work on for sure is the center tree. This is going to get you access to the new content, the new weeklies. If you see, I haven't got those done yet. I'm hoping to have a chance to get those done by next week, and I can give you a little preview of some of the dungeons and some of the weekly quests prior to it going live. And then when it goes live, if all goes well, I do my live cast on the same day. So we will just walk through it when we get there. But you want to make sure you focus on the center one. That's going to give you access to the weekly quests as well as the epic trial. And then once you have those, you can look at getting your boons, or you can look at your hunts, depending on what you're into here. So your boons are going to be on the right, and the hunts are going to be on the left. I would probably suggest getting your boons first, because that's going to buff you up. You'll be able to do this stuff faster. And then you can kind of collect your hunting trophies in Omu while you are leveling up the other stuff. All right. So what's coming up? Let's take a look at that. So pull out your calendar. If you're on PC, it's a K. I'm not sure what it is on the consoles, but this is something that is rarely used, I think, but very helpful for people to be able to use, because you can kind of prepare for what's coming up in the future and see when you want to game, when you want to focus on it, what you need to do to prepare for that. A great example is this upcoming weekend is 2-time refining stones. Now, this used to be 2-time enchantment weekends, but they have changed it. I think this is the first time I've noticed it. So it might be changed just on preview, but the effects are the same on live, I know. So you're going to have double enchantments, double runestones, double refining stone rewards whenever you get those inside the game. So when you get those for quests, like a bunch of the campaign stuff has stones that they give you, you get double for that. Also, if you are doing leadership tasks, which you should be if you're not already, you should be collecting these things. And this is what I was doing last week, is to save up on these, and instead of opening when you get them, save them up, and then you can have a whole big old fat stack. Where's my big fat stack? Here it is. So you see I have a couple hundred just on this character, and this is my character preview, so I have way more on live. Then you wait for that to go live, then you can kick it open and get a ton of extra refine points. So it's cool that they're doing that. I really appreciate that they're doing this 2-times thing for the stones. However, then it kind of goes against their initial statement of they didn't want people saving things. Because if they're going to do this 2-time stone weekends, I highly suggest then you save all of your bags from refining. You can save your stuff from the guild, like you get the stronghold rewards or something like that. A bunch of the boxes and rewards that you get from the campaigns and everything stack. So if they're going to continue to do these 2-times refine weekends, awesome, because now we're kind of making up some of the ground that we lost. But you are going to want to definitely hang on to those things for these weekends, and then you can kind of power them up, right? So not only do we have that going on this weekend, let's go back. Oops. We'll go back in and check out our calendar, and we also have a thing if you are in a guild. This guild mark discounts is going on. So tomorrow, everything in the guild that costs guild marks will be 20% off. So it's a really good time to go stock up on food. If you use the wards, I don't know a lot of people that do use those wards, but if you do, buy them then. Stock up on food. Grab any gear you're missing. It's also a good opportunity to grab all those extra accessories for your companions. Because a lot of times they get overlooked, but the guild gear is actually pretty decent for companions, at least to get them a good kickstart, right? And then also make sure you turn in your shards and everything else that you can, so you can take advantage of this discount. Now there is going to be a bonus shard weekend coming up in a few, maybe a month out. That's where it was. 2 times guild marks. So if you've bought everything that you want to now, in a couple weeks there's 2 times guild marks coming up. So then hang on to those shards and vouchers if you have everything you want now, because actually getting double marks is better than 20% off. Oh, hold on. There we go. I'm having a little technical difficulties as my rig falls apart. All right. So anyway, if you're in a guild, that's good news for you. Make sure you stock up. Now, the other thing that's coming up that you really should be paying attention to is the Wonders of Gone event. Now, this event is one of my favorites because it comes with all kinds of really cool items that you can get, and you can kind of just earn them as you play, which is also pretty nice. So as you fight, you're going to get Wondrous Grommets and a few other things actually drop. You combine those all together, and you're going to eventually try to make a doohickey. It's kind of a self-contained refinement system, and that doohickey is what you've seen flying around me here. Is that little doohickey that's flying around me? There is what that is it is an extra attack basically for you, which is a cool thing to have in your hotbar. This one will do 2,400 damage to a bunch of nearby targets. So it's a cool thing to have for a little extra attack. I personally like it as a slow tank. I can use it to pull things because it has a ranged attack, and none of my other powers are ranged except for the daily thing. So it can be a fairly useful item to get. And if you don't want that, that is just fine, because you'll then turn it in for the creations of Wonder pack. So you're gonna get these things. You can turn them into doohickeys. If you want the doohickey, save one because it's a decent item for your hotbar. If you don't want it, you'll turn it in for this Creations of Wonder pack. This Creations of Wonder pack has Apparatus of Gone, a fancy Apparatus of Gone, as well as refinement items. But some of the cool things you can see here, whoops, is that the Forge Hammer of Gond is a really cool artifact to actually get. It is not a great artifact in and of itself, but it's cool because it summons a green hammer, or it summons yes, I believe it's a green one, that you can use for any crafting event, so, or any crafting task. So it's really cool for things like maybe black ice, black ice shaping. When like some of the gauntlets are very, very expensive, you can use that in its place. It works pretty good for event crafting, so like the summer and winter event, when you need extra things, but the game itself only gives you like one cart for the siege event. You can actually use that forge hammer for a second task. So even though it's green, that actually turns out to be a really cool task to, or a really cool item to have. And especially it's cool if you're working on masterwork crafting, because masterwork crafting is a huge pain, very expensive, and the one that you build up is generally just a white item. So every little percentage you can get to increase that helps. So you can swap this out for, like, I was doing the plate smithing, so I need a doming hammer. Swapping this out for that actually increases my chances of getting the quests done and producing that really cool armor that comes from master crafting. Excuse me. And they were talking about actually this upcoming mod, the Lost City of Omu, in improving and increasing the masterwork crafting stuff. So that would be great if we can get some of that done. So you'll definitely want to look to try to get one of these forge hammers if you're interested in doing that masterwork crafting. All right, so there's a couple other things. There's this mechanical altar, which is kind of cool. You can basically, it's like a pinata or something like that. You can use it and maybe get a little bit of minor items from it. So those are kind of cool to build, but it's kind of an easy event to do with lots of good items, pretty much something for everybody. And even if you don't want anything that they have, then you just go ahead and get this Creations of Wonder pack. You can get some Coalescent Orbs and Preservation Orbs. And if you happen to get a Forge Hammer of Gond or an Apparatus of Gond that you don't want, then you can throw it on the auction house and make yourself some money. So anyway, pretty good event coming up. Not much to prepare for it. Just be ready to collect your things, mash them together. All right, so I'll remind you again, if you have any questions, comments, anything you want me to cover, throw it in the chat, or you can shoot me a message at KARRANOR. So those are the things that are coming up. I think I've got those covered. So since we are getting a doohickey, I thought I would talk a little bit about what the hotbar is and why it's can be quite a useful thing. So your hotbar is down here. This little newbie nugget, something that you can use to use items quite quickly. You don't have to dig through your inventory. But one thing that's a problem with it is that it auto-loads stuff that you get. So it'll auto-load like potions and food and anything that's really actually consumable. It'll auto-load it in here. And you don't necessarily need those things in here. So you want to throw things in here that you're going to need to use in combat. And things that have a short timer on them because you need to reuse them frequently. Potions, food, those kind of things, they don't have a frequent timer to reuse them, so you can actually jump into your inventory and use your potions again if you need to. So like the invocation blessings, I'll jump in here. I keep all my buffs basically in one pack so it's easy to find, but they should not be in your hotbar because there's pretty much wasted space, wasted opportunity. So most everybody should keep potions of healing in that first slot. Everybody runs into times when they need a little boost of extra healing, and if you need that extra boost, you can't go to your inventory to find it. It's got to be on a hotbar. I like it on 4 because it's by your movement key, so when you're running around, you can click that one as well. You see that I actually have my Tomorrow's Lucky Coin in the center slot. This is one that I wouldn't put on the hotbar if you have other things that you might want to use. The reason for that is that it's such a limited space, and if you have some other toys you want to use, definitely use those. But I don't have anything that I really use on this guy. Something that I would replace with that would maybe be the potions that come from Icewind Dale. Those are short, few minute long potions, but they give you that quick little hyper boost of whatever stat you have, depending on which potion you have. So that would be a good one to have in here. See, I don't know if I really switch much out in here on this particular character. But I do have my doohickey on here. If you are a character that gets beat up easily, has some troubles with your health getting low or dying once in a while, where I have the doohickey, you might want to throw in like a Stone of Life. Those are those that heal you, or Stone of Health. Those heal you all the way up. But I like to keep it away from my potion, so I've got an extra key to Fat Finger, so I don't accidentally use up those charges. So if you're getting beat up, have those kind of things, you can do a potion of healing on one side, and on the far side, do your Stone of Health. That's kind of your, oh no, you're in big trouble, and then you can hit that one and save you. And then your center section can be your doohickey, can be the horn. I've even thrown, during events, I'll throw fireworks in here, so I could mess around and shoot fireworks at people in the center slot. And then, of course, in the 7 or the end item slot, you really want to make sure you have your legendary mount in there, if you have one, so you can make sure you can use that combat power. 3, the closest one here, is just the one artifact you can use. That jumps around depending on what class you are, and the rest of this stuff you're probably fairly familiar with. But I did notice that some people in some fights and whatnot didn't have the necessary things in their hotbar when they were needed. So keep those tips in mind. Anything that you want to use in combat, anything with a short timer, and then anything with charges or you're going to eat up easily, kind of split those so you don't accidentally fat finger them in the middle of combat. All right. Well, if you have any other questions for what to use for these hot bars, let me know. If you have any suggestions, I'm sure people love to hear what you have set up. So that pretty much covers kind of the weekly thing here, but I did want to jump into and talk to you a little bit about the lost city of Omu and what you need to know at least to get yourself rolling in the quest. So earlier we talked about making sure that you have your campaign finished up. Whoops, wrong button. So you most definitely need to have this center tree completed all the way up to the blessings here. Once that is done, you'll be able to come over here to Celeste. She'll say that, oh, you've done a lot of good work, blah, blah, blah. We have more stuff to find in the lost city of Omu. So she will progress you into the actual campaign quests that'll lead you to the jungle. But before you head out, make sure you head over to this other side. And you'll see there is a new NPC here next to the prince. Talk to this one, and this NPC is going to give you the kind of the daily repeatable stuff that you had for patrol. So you see here's our patrols. We're going to get our commendations, and we'll turn those commendations for more treasure maps in the jungle. I'll get those treasure maps out to you guys so you can hunt down your loot quickly. And just like the ones before, they're an hour repeatable. There are daily ones that I already have, and they are the very same ones that are do 100% worth of work in the area. Donate to so do one of each basically through the day or through the week that you do. That's the weekly quest you always get. And there is the shrines. So these are just the daily stuff. Here's the daily one. The trials, you do the stuff, so hunts and quests and just spending time in there and killing mobs. All that stuff is going to increase this percentage for you to earn on your daily. Patrols go along with your weeklies for the loot, and these are your, like the Royal Recovery is the repeatable quests that are going to be out in the jungle. So let me show you what some of these are. So if you want to discover this stuff on your own, spoiler warning, but this is really not giving away much of the story, just some of what you can look forward to when you get out into the city. So the city is going to be in the center of the jungle where the river was up above, and we'll head on in there. So when you come into the Lost City, make sure you hang a left, and over here is going to be your NPCs of who everybody you're going to talk to. There's going to be all kinds of stuff to do. Also, there is a campfire, so if you need to heal up or switch out builds or whatever. The quest series is going to have you talk to these people just like you do in every single other campaign. So you get a quest from the beginning person, then you go to the next person, and you will have to step through each quest one at a time, but each of these quests is going to be what the daily repeatable quest is going to be. So as you talk to them, you will go to each one and kind of go through the train. But excuse me. But once you finish, their icons will go from the yellow ones that are the you have to do in order to blue, which are doing daily quests. I've already gone through a bunch of that stuff, so I have repeatable quests, and I already have most of them from here, it looks like.
The evil must.
I think I spoke on these, but real quick, as you're fighting around the jungle, you'll be getting lures. And these lures, you'll favor, what is it? Cholton lore you'll turn in for favor, and then these favors that you can spend on items for either EQ here or Makos. So look at EQ stuff then go over and we'll check out Makos. And you can make a decision on who. I think Makos is right there. The beginning quest will actually show you where it is. But they'll have different gear. So you'll want to look at each of them and see which gear you want so you don't waste your lures that you're going to pick up in here. So different items, different stats. They effectively do the same thing, but you'll just need to decide whether you want to get Makos' gear or Iku's gear.
Else? I'm busy.
So as you're looking around here, here's one of the new mobs. We got the gorillas, silverback. One mob that you'll see that'll pop up is the ghost. If you talk to the ghost, it's just a wayward soul. It's a sad kid that got lost in the jungle here. And you have to take the soul back. This particular mob is a random one that appears anywhere in the jungle. And just run over there and grab it, and then you can head over to where it wants to go, which is right here. Lead the ghost home. And it is one of those things where it will aggro, and it will stop and be scared, and you'll have to fight everything. But if you go quick, just like your companions, the ghost will kind of disappear and then pop up next to you. So if you can stay away from that aggro. See, we got the ghost popped all the way through there, didn't aggro on anything. So that's a quick way to start earning your treasures and whatnot. As we're looking around in here, you can see that there is the main temple, and then there's the shrines to the 9 fixture gods. The quests will tell you a little bit about what you need to do for those and how you're going to get them, but you're effectively going to get like little tokens that you'll turn in and kind of worship them and power up their shrines. Once all of the shrines are powered up, an event starts. I don't even know what that event is. I forgot to actually dig around and see if somebody has set that off. I've tried to set it myself, but it takes like 11 of the tokens per shrine to turn it on, and I did not have enough. I was able to turn on 2, but they're activated, and I'm pretty sure you have to activate everything else for the event to start. So inside of here, you're going to see that there is the Auntie, there are dinosaurs, there are also, let's see here, what are we fighting here? Oh, that's right, there's the lizard folk in here. So there's a little wider variety of what you're going to fight in here. Some of the old classics. Oh, here we go. So they're going to drop these little purple things, the Trickster's Talisman. That's what you're going to collect for the shrines. So keep an eye out for those purples. When you get done with the fight, there's a lot of foliage in here, so make sure you check it out and make sure it's nothing's hiding inside. Let's see if I can wander around and find a hunt target. So the hunts now actually have new... So there's more raptors, a little different look on them. They have a breath weapon like the King of Spines. Sorry, what was I saying? I'm getting all distracted. There's a new icon with the hunts, so you can look at the mob. So even if you don't know what the mob is, you'll see an icon appear, and that will say, oh, that's going to be a rare one. I should kill it for its loot. Let's see here. So see, there's these flowers for the crafting still. Oh, man. I don't have a guild on the previous server, so I'm a lot slower. Put on my speed buff. Well, that was a bust. So you see I'm in the top area of the city, running around like the courtyard and the buildings and whatnot. There are a bunch of entrances and exits both to the Undercity. And the Undercity is kind of a secondary place for all of what you're going to be doing in here. I'm not getting lucky with the hunt target, dang it. So you see a lot of these caves are given to other Scions in here as well. It's like different factions in here trying to be the first one to discover stuff. Seems like somebody may have gone through here and some rares, because I've not been in here yet that's taken this long for me to find that rare icon for you. Went through most of the zone here and don't have any. So there's part of the quest. You hit those, you can fly up into the trees and get ancestor artifacts or something. It's one of the dailies. Like a lot of this other stuff, I definitely suggest collecting as much as possible, getting everything that you possibly can, then head into the jungle, because you're going to usually be able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone doing all this stuff. Instead of grabbing a quest, running out here, doing it, and then coming back in. But seriously, there's not like a single hunt target up anywhere. Yeah, then you can rock through this stuff. So this right here is where the new undead, the spine, was it the King's Spine? Undead King of Spine spawns right there, or comes out here, and then creates a big HE in the center of this little arena thing here. Okay, it's official. There's not a single hunt target in this zone. And there does not appear to be a way to change maps. Oh man, that's why. Yeah, that go. Alright, let me see if I can change some maps real quick. Item level is almost 1400 on here. And one thing I noticed is that I get almost about 2000 item level from my guild, so it makes a significant difference being on here. However, I haven't found that I've had any issues running around myself. And in fact, this is actually seems to be a little safer and nicer place to run around than the jungle. There's times in the jungle you get like 20 or 30 of those stupid guys chasing you down. And they stun like crazy. There's not as much stunners in here. And it's not as easy to get big trains, let me put it that way. Alright, that's me. Let's see if I can get to the Undercity, show you that real quick. Oh, that's a dungeoneering. Here we go. I can go across the courtyard. So you'll see there's like the entrances to the Undercity marked, because they want you to go into those for going after the shrines and stuff. But there isn't the exit, so I plan on working on... Excuse me, I plan on working on a map, and I'll try to connect all these guys together so you can find out how to get to quests quicker and easier by going to the most efficient exit or entrance. So this is just a big old dungeon. I don't know if you saw my map here. And I guess I can show you what one of the shrines looks like real quick. This is a big old dungeon, fairly confusing. It's actually nice to see such a big dungeon in here. And then you'll make your way through the same mobs that are outside or inside, except for there are a bunch of kobolds as well. I don't know if there's kobolds outside. Was there kobolds? I could be confused. Sorry. Anyway, so here's one of the shrines that you're going to be hunting down. Now, there are going to be daily quests where you have to go to each shrine and kind of turn your stuff in, and I'm thinking that when it's live, there'll be enough people that's going to be activating all these shrines, getting them going so we can activate whatever event is going to be happening. But on the preview server, there's only a few people, and they appear to be stealing all my hunt targets. So I have not seen what that event is yet. All right, I think we've got this cleared out. Okay, so once you get the area cleared out, you'll see there is a shrine. It says it requires a trickster talisman. You can give them one if there's one in your inventory, and you'll see that you basically activate it. And then at the right hand side, there is the Samoa Shrine Empowerment. It's a little notch kicked out of here. So what's going to happen is that each time you add a trickster talisman, that shrine is going to go up like 10%, but then it's going to slowly tick down. So if it's not fed more, it'll slowly turn down and deactivate. And this will be part of your daily quest. It's also part of an event that I'm not sure about yet. I'll try to figure that out for you guys. But let me see if I can go to... I just wanted to show you that hunt target. And I can't. There's only one. See, there's 4 people on here. So anyway, there's going to be an icon you can go and look at, and you'll know that that's an actual hunt target. It's a little face or something next to the name. So they definitely stand out. It works just like the other hunts where you're going to be have a rare chance for a trophy. Once you get those trophies, then you'll turn them in, which will give you lures for the other stuff. And as always, I will go through those things and post guides and videos on how to get that stuff. I actually have more videos for the hunt guide or the hunt for Cholt that I just need to get published and get out there for you guys. But most of them are ready. Anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for hanging out. Please share this with your friends, fellow guildies. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Throw me a subscribe. And become a patron. I really appreciate that support. All right, well, good luck and get that campaign done. Until next time, play smarter, not harder.